In 2019, we've heard a lot about EAT, which stands for Expertise, Authority, and Trust, and no one's really nailed down what that means or what to do with it. But at Type A Media, what we've seen is that big sites with large historic link indexes, but perhaps haven't had a lot of links very recently, are starting to see SERP decline. Our prediction for 2020 is websites with historic link indexes that are absolutely massive, but have not actually done anything recently, are going to start to fall by the wayside. There's going to be a huge coupling of EAT and link velocity. And what we're going to see is an expertise measure and a trust measure is going to be linked to, you've guessed it, frequent and fresh links coming from highly cited sources. That's all from everyone at Type A. We hope you have an excellent 2020, and until next year, we will see you later.
Well, very similar to what Ross has just been talking about. Actually, video is very similar. It is all about keeping our content current, keeping it up to date. It's all very well having a video that did well 6 months ago. That is old news. We're talking about creating quality content consistently 4 or more times a week. We're not necessarily making, Ben-Hur an epic every single week. It's all about short, sharp, useful, engaging content. Content which makes you appear to be the expert. It makes you trustworthy. It's all about building relationships with your audience, and the way we do that is to create quality, useful content on a regular basis. So that is what 2020 is all about. Hope you have a good year.
This week's theme is what to do in 2020. So I'm going to split that into 2 different buckets. 1, what to do in your account and campaigns, and then 2, personal development. So in your account in 2020, I highly recommend looking at your campaigns and marketing initiatives as one big working ecosystem. Find ways to use channels to help other channels perform. Try to start wrapping your arms around attribution if you haven't already. Start looking at the funnel and at other channels to see where you can drive more volume, and make sure that you have your middle funnel and bottom funnel campaigns tuned up to convert those leads that you bring in. Continue to focus on building up audiences, not just with cookies, but also with email addresses. Data is only going to become more and more valuable, so the more data that you have, the easier that it will be to build those models in the future to identify even more prospects. Automate repetitive processes so that you can focus on your strategy. Use automation to row the boat while you focus on steering and looking ahead. Set your 2020 goals now. Whatever growth looks like for you, only you can know that, so set those goals. I highly recommend finding new ways to network in 2020. Having a network is truly invaluable. It has helped me so much in my career. If there are any other ways that you could be thinking about networking, definitely recommend making that one of your goals. I would also suggest setting some more time to learn in 2020. However you learn best, whether it is blogs or attending seminars or attending webinars, I highly recommend Semrush webinars. Try to carve out time for that to make sure that you are always focusing on your own development and growth. And then set a goal to help someone new. Wherever you are on your journey in your career, there's always somebody behind you. Set a goal to make sure that you're always focusing on helping somebody else in their career to progress forward as well. And that's it for me. I hope everybody has a happy holiday.
So for this holiday season, I thought I'd share with you a massive tip that you can use in order to help improve your SEO in 2020. And this is all to do with the EAT scores that Google gives to websites and how it judges the authority, expertise, and trustworthiness of content. What I recommend you do is, if you yourself or someone else in your business is truly an expert in their field, write some content that is high quality, that's data backed and relevant to the industry, and then try and get these posts post on different websites. And then what that will do is you'll be able to link the content and the author, whether that's the author name and the picture, keep that consistent. Remember to keep it consistent. But then you'll be able to see that Google will understand these links between these websites that are also very highly authoritative in the industry with your own content on your website. And then that will over time improve your EAT scores. So happy holidays, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
2020 is the year of the brand SERP. Whether you're a local business, a national brand or an international corporation, one thing you should definitely start doing in 2020 is tracking your own brand SERP. In fact, you should really go further. Start tracking, analysing and improving your brand SERP. Why? A brand SERP is what comes up when somebody Googles your brand name. Who on earth does that? Pretty much everyone who does business with you or is even thinking about doing business with you. For example, clients, prospects, potential hires, partners, suppliers, distributors and investors. What they see when they Google your name is very, very, very important to your bottom line. It may well make the difference between signing the client or not, getting that amazing article in the news or not, employing the genius coder or not. You get the idea. Oh, but it may also save you from losing a precious client. Clients typically navigate to your site by searching Google. If they see something negative every time they navigate to your site, the message will stick. And they may go to a competitor. So, start tracking your brand in 2019 because 2020 will be the year of the brand SERP. Thank you.
Make sure when you're running Amazon advertising campaigns that you're going to test out different images on your product detail page. You should try to treat that product detail page like a landing page because remember, the ads, their only job is to get people to that page. It's up to that page to convert them into customers. What you should try doing is take your top performing keywords in your Amazon advertising campaigns and try to increase those bids. The higher bids could lead them to give a higher position, and that's going to convert at a higher level. So that's going to end up decreasing your ACoS and increasing your sales.
Looking at some of the recent changes in Google, some of the problems we saw happening in 2019, we can clearly state that if you want to be successful in SEO in 2020, you need to focus on a few key things. One of those being indexing your content, and as you can read at onely.com within our research, indexing your content becomes one of the key problems in 2019 and 2020, with 80% of the e-commerce stores relying on JavaScript to serve content, and with websites like Walmart with only around 30% of their products indexed. Second, a little bit different to do for 2020 is make sure to build authority around your niche, around your brand, and make sure that your authors, like everything you publish, is well researched, it comes from authority source, and you as an author are credible within the industry. The last trend is and the last to do for 2020 is to specialize. If I saw something interesting in 2019 is basically Google is going after websites that are not, that don't have a clear focus, clear goal. So specialize, make sure that whatever you do, you are the key expert in that and you specialize in 2020. Thank you so much.
Today I'm going to talk about 4 things that I think you should be doing in 2020. First, if you are not spending a ton of time on optimizing for mobile, you need to be doing so. This is actually a tactic from kind of 2017, but judging on the people that are coming in for help, not a lot of you are doing it. So you need to spend time on mobile, looking at your mobile speed, how your mobile's converting, and heck, just go look at your site on a phone every once in a while. Next, it's time in 2020 that we should all be looking at getting past last click mentality. Meaning, don't just give credit for a sale to whatever gets the last click. Google has some new attribution tools. I've actually done a giant video on attribution modeling for Semrush. Go look it up. Let's get involved and let's get away from last click only. Next, if you are not telling your story, when something bad happens, someone else is going to tell your story. You need to be telling your story always and as loudly as possible, getting stuff out there, being proactive, getting reviews. I am a huge fan of proactive online reputation management, and I think that you should be too. And lastly, this is important, and no matter what you're doing, build relationships. Build relationships with those in the industry, build relationships with your influencers, and build relationships with those that you love around this coming decade. Thanks, and I hope you all have a great holiday.
To engage an influencer, I simply reached out to a number of people who were experts in astronomy, and I had one positive reply from somebody from Cornell University. And we worked with them to create an accurate video, and this person embedded their work into the video production. So once it was produced, all we had to do is say, "It's finished, check it out." And she was like, "Wow, this looks really awesome. Can I use this?" And we're like, "Go ahead, use it, feel free, put it up on your website." So next thing you know, we got a link on cornell.edu. It's being used in lectures, and every now and then we get a request, "Can we link to this? Can we use it in a lecture or during an event?" And we're saying, "Sure, go ahead." So this is just one example that shows that by embedding people while the content piece is being built and collaborating with influencers instead of serving the finished piece to them, creates a lot more meaningful relationship. And that's something I'd like to see a lot more in the future, a lot more organic influencer engagement. All right, that's it from me. Merry Christmas, everyone.